What is up to all my finessers and finesses? It is I, the Mexican Burt Reynolds. Today we have a very special treat for you. We have a game here with a sub. And I didn't know this particular sub, but this subscriber saw me in a game earlier in the Kagro. Said, hey, like the channel, really enjoy it. We talked a little bit, and then, a couple hours later, I said, hey, you want to play some shooty boats? He's like, sure. So here we are. Now, I did turn down the in-game volume all the way. As you can see there, we're having a chat on the left. The system recorded his audio, however, it did not record mine, considering I don't normally record party audio except for the stream, so that's kind of why we do not have any game audio, because you can kind of hear a one-sided conversation of him talking. Moving on, we decided to play some cruiser action here. Now, this particular game is pretty awesome because we end up really throwing the screws to a lot of these battleships. We end up Citadeling the mess out of some of these battleships, and it's very, very hilarious, and insightful. You could possibly learn something from this, so make sure to keep your eyes out. Now, we're not trying to give up too many shots here. We're just kind of barely peeking out. We want to see what's going on. But at the same time, when things go south, we want to be able to back up and get into some good cover here. We've got some rounds going downrange as we speak there. A pretty decent shot there. Got about $5 off that gentleman. And he is just clipping across the open. Does not care that he is about to take some rounds there. Managed to set us on fire. Not too much of a big deal. We can handle it. And all the time here, guys, we are backing up, folks. We are not about that life. We're about the shooting, folks, not getting shooted on life. Back on fire there, sadly. Not a whole lot we could do about that since we've already used our repair kit, but you know what? That's fine. Managed to get a Citadel off that gentleman, though. No big surprise. And my man's is over there putting people to the sword. Have a gentleman right here just kind of encroaching on my area. Not necessarily a fan of it. With impunity, I might add. Kauznutz is just out here making it happen. Trying to kind of find the sweet spot on this particular vessel so we can really lay the hammer down. Unfortunately, we're behind a little bit of a cover there, so it's not necessarily happening for us. We're going to kind of just take just a little peeky poo out here and see if we can't just manage to keep the guns running. Now, as far as DPM goes, this is not the machine if you want DPM. This is the machine if you want alpha. Not exactly a brisk reload, but, obviously faster than a battleship. But that being said, you do have 4 guns. You've got 2 super firing fore, 2 super firing stern, so you can really get out there and make it happen. This gentleman does not notice I am here. However, his compatriots are well aware I am in this zone here. I'm backing off just a little bit more, and we're going to keep trying to punish, keep trying to put rounds down range on this gentleman. Just keep, putting the screws to him, so to speak, here. And we're stacking some decent damage here. We're not exactly breaking any records, but you know what? We're putting in work, and he's giving us all the broadside shots. I feel like if it had been another battleship without turtleback armor, we really would have gotten some good damage off of him. But in this case, though, we're just nickel and diming him. Death from 1,000 cuts. We're almost pushing 50k damage here. And it is early in the game. Game has yet to reach its adolescence. We've got 1 bad guy down. As far as teams go, that's it. This gentleman right here is going to be down very soon, whether he knows it or not. Hopefully it'll be us gets kill, and unfortunately, no, does not happen. We have another gentleman right here queued up to get pooped on. He is not about that life. He is running actively away, which is a good move if you are kind of in this zone, because if you come straight down, push that flank where the Kauznutz did. I have flank shots on pretty much everything coming down that zone. So they either have to look at me, which I'll back up, or look at the bad guys to the 12 o'clock of them, meaning the friendly battleship. So it really worked out in our favor there. And that's how you have to play the Pensacola. Any squishy cruiser, guys, you just have to post up. You have to work those islands. You have to hide, because I see so many cruisers going out there and they're just running around and balling and they get pooped on. Moving on, Citadeling this particular gentleman right here. Not necessarily a big deal. He's not in a super crunchy ship, but you know what? That's fine. We're going to go ahead and throw the hatred there, see if we could get us another Citadel. We managed to make that happen. Up in the 60K range, just kind of balling, trying to, to get some good standing damage there on deck, trying to put some numbers on the board. 3 down for the bad guys, 0 down for the friendlies. They lose a few more. Things are going to start becoming very exponential for them, unfortunately. Good for us, bad for them, let's put it that way. Good broadside shots at this gentleman right here. We decided to switch some targets, as the other gentleman was actively disengaging, or at least trying to. Once again, not really having a whole lot of luck on Citadels, but you know what? That's fine. Death from 1,000 cuts, folks. We're just going to continue firing and see if we really can't come out on top on this. He is pretty cool with me pooping on him. Normally, folks aren't really too concerned unless you set them on fire for some reason. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. You try shooting someone in Atlanta and setting them on fire back to back and see how fast you get their attention. But you could shoot them with AP all day. I don't know why it's a thing. He is quickly, getting out of the range there. Not really happening. Unfortunately, we're going to have to break cover, and we're going to have to pursue these gentlemen right here. 0 down for the friendlies, 4 down for the bad guys. Things are definitely becoming exponential, meaning, we could put so much firepower and hatred on these gentlemen that they're going to have to try very hard to survive. And for the most part, it is not going to happen. So, anything's possible. Running the forward super firing guns right here. 2 guns there on the forward. Going to see if we can maybe crack that gentleman from the behind the cover there, and we managed to get a Citadel. Didn't do boatloads of damage, but you know what? Any damage is better than none. Firing this right here, it looks to be like it was a little bit long, but gosh, it kind of looks like it's going to end up on target there. It looks like it just kind of winged him, if anything. 80,000 damage, really out here making it happen. The blue team has lost their first gentleman right here off the map. So versus the 4 down for the bad guys, and that's fine by me. We still have clearly have the upper hand here, and now I'm breaking cover and I am tracking down these battleships, pulling Citadels left, right, and center. Really making it happen out here, folks, as far as that goes. Gneisenau is not about that life. We're going to try to get in a position to where we can kind of get the guns on him there and come around the back of the cover, back of the island. The downside is, once again, we're waiting on the guns to catch up. Didn't really make it happen. Didn't really move them around like we wanted to. But that's fine. We've still got the forward super firing guns in good position. And the stern guns are about 6 o'clock. So they're catching up as we speak here. This gentleman's not about that life. Gneisenau is on his way out. We're going to send him a parting gift there. If he starts looking at me is kind of when I will start to freak out. But until then, I'm just going to run around farming, folks. And that's what you guys should do too. 94,000 damage. Still out here making it happen. Not really garnering a lot of fire. And that is a good thing, because you know what? In a squishy cruiser like this, you don't really want to catch a lot of fire, / any at all. 101,000 damage. Just nickel and diamond this gentleman. That's really all we're doing here. Not exactly a blistering reload once again, but you know what? 15 seconds or so, we can make it happen. Norman Scott is the commander. Michael Scott, as I call him. And he's just out here doing things, folks. We've got him Legendary 1. He's got a really good reload. Just, not necessarily brisk, but it is good for what it is, which is, this would be considered a heavy cruiser. Possibly even a battle cruiser, although I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can correct me down below on that. Moving on, we're running out of targets to engage here, folks. Not a lot going on in this sector. We're going to kind of have to track some folks down, see if we can't possibly put some rounds on them. We've got a Colorado pushing our camp up there to the north. We're bringing her a boot right now. And we don't really have a whole lot to do here, sadly, because we don't necessarily want to jump on their cap, because that would just be, not allowing any of the rest of the team there some of that good damage. But, I feel like we could still go over there and we could still make some things happen if we get in a position in the right amount of time. Now, granted, you guys have heard me say, in order to do very well, your team has to do good, but not too good. Because if they do too good, you're going to go out there and you're not going to get any damage. You're going to get just leftovers, so on and so forth. Think Loading Heat or Gizmo Killa with me. Or, however, if it's, if they do bad, you're going to end up, being forced into a role you are not accustomed to or supposed to be in. In other words, cruisers on the front line. Whatever. Just think about it. So, you're going to be in a bad position there, is what I'm trying to get at in a roundabout-esque way. I figured I would kind of go into a little bit of theory there, as we have just a little bit of a sailing voyage here with us. But in reality, yes, you don't want your team to do too good, but you don't want them to do too bad either. And it's very rarely you kind of get those games where you can kind of be left to your own devices and, things kind of fall out as they are. Now, as you can see here, guys, to about our 2 o'clock, we have a friendly who is not necessarily a one-shot, but he is most certainly low health, and the bad guy's 3/4 health. So, it doesn't take a scientist to see which way the wind is going to blow here. So hopefully, he will finish off our friendly vessel, and then we can kind of come in and put some hatred on him, saving the day, as it were. He's putting heat on the cap. I think we all know that is not going to happen. But, it's good to have a dream. It's good to have a dream. We're going to try to put some rounds on him here. See if we can't pull some damage from across the hill of the island right there. We managed to connect with him there, which I'm kind of shocked. I didn't necessarily think that would happen, but you know what? It did, and that's okay. Any damage is good damage, so to speak. He is turning out. He is not a fan of this life. We're going to go ahead and throw it, because it looks like he's making a turn completely to the right. Hard right rudder there. It's going to catch him just on the side. Perfect. Look at that. And that gets us a high caliber. Now he's giving us a proper broadside. And as you can see here, I'm very concerned he is going to rain some hatred down on me. I'm starting to understand. I go ahead and I cut the engines right here. I managed to get a couple Citadels there off of him. I cut the engines because I was certain he was going to overshoot me. And then he manages to connect with me, blowing me up. Had a lot of fun that game, though. Really enjoy the Pensacola. It's one of the squishier ships, but that's a good thing, because you know what? It really teaches you how to cruiser, whether you want to know or not. Simply because, if you make very many mistakes, you get punished for it. Had a good game. Really enjoyed myself. Funny game. Anytime you can get some laughs out of a game, it's a good thing, guys. Did a lot of damage that game. 132,000. Multiple Citadels, all of them on battleships. Folks, really hope you enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys next time.